Wilson. I'm from Dallas, Texas, but I moved to New York about a year ago. I was born January 12, 1993, and I was born with a rare disease called cystic fibrosis. Now, this is a disease of the lungs, and there's no cure for it. The doctors gave my parents 2 years for me to live. But God had different plans. At age 1, I was miraculously healed. And you would think from there on that my life was perfect, but it wasn't. I grew up in the typical Christian family, my mom and dad both being pastors of this huge church, and I spent daily nights at church. Every day I was at church. I got saved at age 5, and I remember even memorizing scriptures as a hobby. But when I hit 16 years old, something different happened. My parents got divorced. My mom immediately found a stranger online and got married to him. My dad, he moved in with a lady who was closer to my age than his, and she had 2 daughters, and I watched him go live with their family, go start a whole new life, and trash me to the side. And I didn't talk to my dad for almost 2 years. My family was completely broken, and I was broken. Everything and everyone I looked up to fell to the ground, and I felt like I had nowhere to look but down, and I was angry and I was bitter because I didn't know why God would let something like this happen to a family who was after his own heart, happen to a family that actually lived for God. And so I stopped going to church, and my parents, they went from living for God, preaching about God, to avoiding God. So I never felt happy, I never felt complete. And I started searching for myself, searching for happiness, searching to be whole again through boys. And when boys wasn't enough, when I couldn't feel that emptiness in my heart, I started cutting myself. And when I did that, at first it was here and there, and then it was a day-to-day release, and then another day I cut was another day to have to look back or look forward. I could just look down. But that was my history. At age 17, I stepped into the light. One Wednesday night, I was tired of crying myself to sleep. I was tired of feeling lonely, and I decided to drive myself to church. And that night, I couldn't tell you what they preached in the message. I couldn't tell you what song they sang, but what I can tell you is the moment that I walked into the room, I felt at peace. I felt love. I felt his arms wrapped around me. And I decided that I was gonna live for God that night. My whole heart, I was gonna live for God, because I wasn't gonna let the enemy destroy my life like he did my family. Now that I know him, I can stand on his word, which says in 1 Corinthians 10:13, that no temptation has overtaken me, that if I am tempted, God will provide a way out, because he is faithful. And God is faithful. God has brought restoration between me and my dad. God has brought me to a place where I can talk to you guys, where I can teach kids and help them deal with the same things that I dealt with. And I am 8 months clean of cutting. And now I am his story, and you can be his story too.